Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux with another DistroWars. And today we're going to look at two Ubuntu versions. We're going to look at Ubuntu Budgie versus Ubuntu Mate. And so we have a couple of different options there. And we're just going to go ahead and have a look at these just in honor of the new version of Ubuntu rolling out so we can have a brief look at those. The time has come also. I need to finally make that determination as to what goes on that special project Raspberry Pi because it came in the mail today. So I will start doing the video, and probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it out for about a week before I release anything. So I'm going to do some initial stuff, setting it up and things like that, and then we're going to go ahead and have a more finalized video later in a few weeks. I think right now I'm leaning toward Debian because it's production for web design, and I just don't want things rolling, and I just don't want to sit there without updates. And so I think that the Debian build's going to be good, and then maybe we'll do Debian versus Ubuntu and see if the Ubuntu build for the Raspberry Pi gives you better options or not, or other things. So let me know what you guys think. I'm thinking, though, Debian's probably what I'm going to do. I've actually run Debian on a Raspberry Pi before, so it works well. Basically, just kind of get it running there and see what it's like. So anyway, and this is not for a server. No, this is actually a production GUI system. I want to see if my regular day job stuff outside, we're not talking video production, we're not talking graphics, we're not even talking, like, I can probably do some of the stuff I do on writing, maybe not, depending on how well the graphics work. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, is how well will I be able to run GIMP on it, for example. But with that, this is a GUI build, and we want to play around with it, see what we can get running. So anyway, that'll be kind of fun. That all came today. I also, believe it or not, I actually bought another Raspberry Pi 2 because I had a Retro Pi system sitting around that I haven't played my Retro Pi for a while because my other Raspberry Pi 2 is stuck to the back of my television. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just buy a second one of those. Those got expensive. I think I actually paid more for the Raspberry Pi 2 than I did of an 8 gigabyte Raspberry Pi 4. It was about the same anyway, but I didn't want to build, get a new Raspberry Pi for that system and then rebuild everything. I already had the system built. Plug and play, baby. Plug and play. All right, well, let's go ahead and check in on our comments. We got Shadows on. How's it going there, Shadow? Doug Tilleran is on. Did I say that right? I think I did. All right, best XFCE is arguably Manjaro, Sparky MX. I can get behind those. I'm not sure about Sparky. I haven't played around with Sparky a whole lot, but definitely Manjaro and MX, excellent builds. I did think about Manjaro for the Pi. It's just based on Arch. I just don't want something that rolls that much, so that's why I'm going Debian. Farron's on. Greetings. Hello, Fluffy Cloud. Rick Forges, how's it going there? Interesting to see what this is like. Budgie. Dang Brit bird that bites. All right, is it? Hello, Necromancer. Raid some people from the dead, I see. Worn out cat, worn out chair. Talk about repurposing. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's been really warm here today, so the kitty is just kind of vegging out. So it's actually like, it was 40s and then 70s. Go figure. I mean, come on. Let's see. So flavor, flavor versus best Mate implementation for ease of use and customization flavor. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. I think these are probably the two most popular Ubuntus. Heard about a major Apple supplier has been attacked with ransomware. Yes, we actually covered that in the Weekly News Roundup this last week. The supplier was hit and asked Apple for the ransom, or else they would leak all of Apple's stuff out. So chairs like that had a Maserati it for 30,000 colonies. So I have I think I have 3 Raspberry Pi 4s. Right now, one of them is in production as my NAS. The other one is actually an in-house web server, which oftentimes isn't used. Right now, I'm just testing some software on it. The last one, and I bought the other one because I wanted to try the GUI production test on a Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gigs of RAM. So I got the most spec'd out one you can. Let's see. PC security channel uploaded a video about 5 hours ago on the attack. Very cool. Nice. Hello, Solstance. How's it going there? Probably change my username. Well, you know, or you can just raise more people from the dead. That's okay. Quantum Alpha's over on Discord. How's it going there? Still at work, but it's compiling. Of course. That's what I loved about my, it was my upper level chemistries. We take instrumental analysis. And basically, you put the stuff in, and you let the machine run for an hour and a half. So we put the stuff in, and then we went out for lunch for an hour and a half. And then we came back and had a great time at lunch and came back, and our machine was still spitting out data. We're like, hey, look at that. That's right. That right there is how lab work goes, you know. Instrumental analysis. Those were the fun old days. I enjoyed those old in-depth mechanical-based chemistries. We have a hard cutoff at 5 today. I'm guessing we're probably going to be done before then anyway, but let's go ahead and get started on this guy here. Let me find that one, and then we'll go ahead and get booted in here. Welcome back to Switch to Linux and another Distro Wars. This one today we're going to be putting together probably the 2 most popular flavors with Ubuntu. We're going to be talking about Ubuntu Budgie versus Ubuntu Mate. Now, both of these flavors are both official flavors. They're available on the Ubuntu website under the official flavors, or at least their website links are. They are both excellent distributions, and I will have a hard time coming up with which one's better. So really, I think this is going to be more situational. What is best for your particular circumstance? Neither one of them is necessarily a bad option, unless, of course, you think Ubuntu is the devil, in which case they're both bad. But that aside, let's just go ahead and have a look at these guys. So we're going to grab these from the official flavors. So it's ubuntu.com/download/flavors. And remember, this is UK, so it's the UK spelling of flavors. And we have a few different flavors to choose from. We are grabbing Ubuntu Budgie and Ubuntu Mate. So let's go ahead and just open up these individual websites. So over on Ubuntu Budgie here, basically, I always called Budgie GNOME done right. It is based on GNOME, and it has a lot of GNOME dependency, but it gives you a little bit more of a familiar desktop build with that. I really, like, if I wasn't running Cinnamon, I would probably be running Budgie. While I do like Plasma a little bit better, the bugs in Plasma sometimes kind of push me more towards Budgie. Who knows, maybe those are getting cleaned up. So we have options, whether you're coming from Windows, coming from Mac, you have a lot of different options inside of here. A lot of people really like this one. Head on over to the downloads page. You can grab the 2004, which is the LTS. You can grab the 2010, which is going to be supported just for another couple months, or you can grab the 2104, which just came out, good until next January. And I'm actually using the 2104. Now, you also have a Raspberry Pi version, so that's nice. Maybe this is something I test on my Raspberry Pi. If Debian doesn't work out well, there's the 10 and there's the 2004 LTS. So you have options for direct downloads and the torrent downloads. And other than that, you know, it's good. It's Ubuntu with Budgie in it. If you've not seen Budgie, we'll go ahead and jump over to the desktop here shortly. The next one is Ubuntu Mate. This one is probably considered a good old solid gold standard. The people developing this, they are deeply involved in a whole variety of different areas in the field of Ubuntu. Very good guys, very competent guys in what they're doing. And before Ubuntu Budgie was a thing, Mate definitely hands down was the best implementation, oftentimes even surpassing the raw Ubuntu itself. Of course, the Mate desktop is based on the GNOME before it split. So, of course, GNOME went from GNOME 2 to GNOME 3. That caused a little bit of a controversy. You had 2 split-offs, one of these being Mate, which kept the GNOME 2 base and branched off from there. The second one being Cinnamon, which said, well, I don't like the direction GNOME is going. I do like a lot of the modern elements. And so Cinnamon branched off from a GNOME 3. Mate branched off from a GNOME 2. And so you will get a little bit older looking look and feel of a desktop. I just in full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of Mate. I actually do run it on my backup computer. In other words, that's my computer with all my personal life files. It has all of my backup systems. That's actually the version I run over there. As I actually run Linux Mint Mate, and I just have more issues with it than not. But it's an all right distribution. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not my personal take. We do have good Raspberry Pi builds, everything down from the 2B all the way up to the current 4. And we just have a variety of different options. These guys are really at the forefront of working with ARM stuff as well. So you have a lot of options. We have 64-bit or 32-bit. Now, of course, the 32-bit, because it's based on Ubuntu, that will drop support in April here. So, oh, that's this month. It's probably already dead. So don't rely on that. You can buy a new Ubuntu Mate computer with it preloaded. There's Raspberry Pis, 32 and 64s, just a variety of different options. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do here with downloading it. So with that, I think what we're going to do now, let's go ahead and boot up our first. So we're going to boot up our Ubuntu Mate here. Excuse me, we're going to start with Ubuntu Budgie, and we're going to go ahead and get logged into here. So I'm running these on a identical virtual machines that run 6 gigs of RAM, 4 processing cores, and 20 gig hard drive, whatever, all the other fun stuff. 256 megabytes, I think, of video memory. I've maxed out whatever it can do. So here you can see on the boot in, it gets in there. We get the logo. It does its little Linuxy thing in the background, and then before long we will land right in on our desktop login screen. So this is what we have. We have options over here. Here's some keyboard layout, things like that, and then over here, we'll just go ahead and enter our super secret password. Now, if you had different desktop environments, they would be displayed over here. In this case, we don't. So what we are going to have here is this is exactly how it's installed, other than the fact that I ran updates. I think there were at this point in time just like 8 updates or whatever else. So over here, we have a bar at the top, which is standard for Ubuntu builds. We do have a plank dock down at the bottom with some of the more common software. We have Firefox, our files. We have Libre Writer, Libre Calc, Rhythmbox for music. We have a software center, and we have a welcome screen. Of course, the welcome screen will pop up the very first time you install. And with this, we have introduction, we have features, recommendations, we can install software, themes and layouts, and things like that. So let's just kind of walk through it here. Here's what is it. You can just kind of go down through. You can read about what they're doing, things like that. Let's see, I think these are all just the basic features that it contains in it. Here's some getting started. So here's just a lot of different options. So here we have the ability to install a variety of different web browsers. If you don't like Firefox, you can install the Snap version, or you can remove it. Chromium they have as a Snap. You have Google Chrome available. This is probably a Deb package. Vivaldi, Brave, Opera, Midori, GNOME Web, and Experimental. Ooh. So you have a couple different options there. You can go ahead and install whichever browser you would like from there. Here is the settings and customizations. Now, one of the downsides about Budgie is that they do have 2 separate settings panels. So if you don't remember exactly where everything is, you go looking for settings, you'll see settings and Budgie settings. Budgie settings, excuse me. Bungie, I'm going to jump off a bridge apparently. So where the difference is that your basic settings, this is your GNOME settings. We'll cover this one first in case you're familiar with GNOME. This is basically everything that you find inside of your GNOME system. And that's all that one is. The Budgie settings controls everything related directly to the desktop itself. So this is going to cover your theming and styles. Out of the box, we have this darker theme installed. We have desktops. Do you want to enable or disable desktop icons? So this has full desktop icon capabilities in here. Or you can disable that if you don't like those. You can set which icons are displayed. So if I want to display the trash icon, I can do that. My home directory icon, I can do that. Here's fonts. Now Raven is the Raven menu inside of Budgie over here. So the Raven menu pops out. This guy here will show us applets and notifications, very similar to how Mac does their system. So if we were playing like music on Rhythmbox, we can control everything over here with the audio settings. And there's other applets that can appear in the Raven settings as well. So this will tell you where it's at. Is it on the right or is it on the left? We can allow raising the volume, just a lot of different options inside of here. So I like turning on the power strip on this. By default, Budgie tends to put the power button over here. I actually don't like it there. I tend to remove it from that and turn on the power strip. That way the power buttons are at the bottom. That's generally my personal preference, but you can do whatever. I just love the flexibility. Here is the windows, what these are going to look like, button layouts, things like that. And then the panel, you can create a top panel, bottom panel, left panel, right panel. And then on the panel, you can do different settings. So over here, this is actually where our power system should be, unless I'm forgetting myself there. Thought it was. It's probably there. Y'all are probably looking at going, it's right in front of your face. But yeah, sometimes when you're doing a video, that's what happens. Here is extra settings. So it does look good. It's modern. That's what your getting started is going to do. Keyboard shortcuts. Here's drivers for extra drivers. Of course, that's a standard Ubuntu thing. So you can always do that. And then there's the themes and layouts. This one over here is where they have some good options. Let's just go ahead and maximize this screen here. We have a couple different options. We have basically these are going to control is the panel on the top or the bottom by default. So you can see we have White Sir. This is what this is going to look like. Is it Quadger? Quadger, whatever that is. There's a Mojave build, Bokello, material design. I thought there were, oh yeah, over here under our desktop layouts, we have the Ubuntu Budgie, the classic one, which the menu is different. We have Redmond, which is a classic Windows. The traditional Budgie, which is what Solus is going to look like. Cupertino, which is more of an Apple. And the One. I guess this is Neo from the Matrix. I'm not sure. But anyway, you happen to have options inside of that. So that is really what's inside of your welcome screen. Now, if we boot up, for example, a terminal here and run htop, we are running here on about 600 megs. So actually, that's about half the RAM when I did my original testing. So that's going to have me change one of my points. The RAM usage is about the same here as it is on Mate. Let's have a brief look at our software. This is really where the two are going to differ a little bit. So Ubuntu Budgie has the Snap Store installed. So this means that it's going to be the same exact software center that you have on Ubuntu. So if we go in here and we go ahead and search for a package, then it's going to give us our options here, and we have the ability to choose a snap or a repository version of the software. And so here we can choose that, or this one here is probably a repository version. So we have the options to install our snaps from the software store. We're going to see that in Mate we don't actually have that option. So if you want to use snaps, then Budgie is going to get you a little bit better of a management on your software than Mate will. If you don't like snaps, you'll probably like the Mate version better. So we've pretty much had a look at about everything. I guess the only other thing is the windowing manager. This is X. So of course, Ubuntu 21.04 went with Wayland by default. This one only has X enabled, and I did not see any way to enable Wayland. So if you do need Wayland, you're probably going to want to pick a different flavor. Not this nor Mate. Neither one of these is actually going to run Wayland, at least not without manually installing it or whatever else. I just didn't see a way to put it on. Our overall pros in this, it is very modern. So for example, online accounts, if you like syncing your various online accounts, I personally do Nextcloud on some of my production systems, which allows me to sync files easily. Things like that. Or if you like, using Google or Facebook or Microsoft for whatever reason, then you have those options. So it has a lot of these modern features, modern notification settings. Just, it looks good, and the theming is very modern overall. It's going to be pretty good theming. The downsides, I did have listed the higher RAM, but it actually seems maybe I was doing something more on the system prior to looking at the RAM. It does look like it's back in line with Mate, so I don't think that that's going to be an issue. The other issue is, again, the settings are not as unified. It is not the most intuitive desktop environment out of the box. Mate is definitely more intuitive, particularly for an older generation, where it's grew up on Windows type systems, but overall Budgie is very good. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and have a look at Mate next. All right, we'll shut this guy down here. Let's see. Love Budgie. It's also excellent. Light DM is ugly. All right, there you go. Repcoon, how's it going there? Strawberry Shortcake, hello. All right, let's see. Hi, Tim. Where's Tim? I'm Tom, by the way. I'm not Tim. I'm Tom. I use Pop OS, but like both Mate and Budgie, hard to choose. Yes. Well, Pop OS actually has official guides to install Mate or Budgie on your system. So if you like using Pop, but you want to use a different desktop environment in the GNOME, you have that option. They give it to you. Yep, too bad. The Ubuntu Mate website kind of doesn't show 2104's new look. Yeah, it doesn't. I would say that the 2104 does look a little bit better. But hello, Randy. Greetings. Cinnamon having 2 settings programs. Wait, what? Cinnamon doesn't have 2 settings programs that I know of. Budgie is basically less mature version of Cinnamon. It might be, yeah. Cinnamon lacks sidebars. What do you mean sidebars? Considering everything in the Raven menu would be better fit inside the already existing panel applets, I don't see it as an advantage. All right. Budgie sidebar is basically useless. Yeah. We put a calendar and the sound controls there. No other options at the moment. Take much effort to implement. Last time I tried Budgie, it was pretty buggy. Yeah, I guess it depends on where and how you've tried it. I have not actually had buggy issues with it. It was actually, I ran a Manjaro Budgie for quite a while. I really enjoyed it. So, right. Hello, Killswitch. Greetings to you. I hope you are doing fine. Let's go ahead and get on over to our other one now here. And now we will go ahead and boot up Ubuntu Mate here. And so with this guy, we're jumping right on into the desktop. I think this one does a better job at just showing you the splash screen, but I can't remember for sure. Oh, never mind. Gives us all the same Linuxy under the hood stuff that might scare some people. Oh my God, what's my computer doing? I don't want to type in stuff on the terminal. Well, you don't have to. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So here is our login screen. So again, we have our options much the same way. If there were another desktop environment or choice, we would have it over there. We'll enter my super secret password here. It's definitely not 123. and then we will land right on the desktop. Now this one, you'll see that Mate gives you 2 panels out of the box. So this one here, we have our welcome screen. It pops up until you toggle this button off down here. So I like this one. What I do like about Mate that it's doing here is it does give us our list of our applications down along the bottom. Modern operating systems don't do that, and it's really annoying because as I'm neck deep in a big project, I really want to see all that information down there. So we do have a menu up here. It is fairly modern. I did find that you generally do have to come in here. Okay, it's working now. For a while I was finding I couldn't just come in here and search for something. I would have to click on the search bar, but that apparently has resolved itself somehow. Let's go ahead and walk through this guy here. We have our basic introduction, very much like Budgie had, telling us about what it is, the objectives, who they are, open source software, things like that. Inside of the features, we have, once again, much the same, productivity. It's already set up. They have some mobile integration down here. Has essential mobile device support. You'd expect plug in a phone media player and the device automatically detected and mounted. You can then access files or sync its contents. So that's fairly standard at this point in time. And under our getting started option, we have updates. We have our drivers, optional tasks, system specifications. So under your optional tasks, we have prompting for backups, network shares, firewall, adding more users, and things like that. We have inside the software system, which is using the software boutique. This one here, it will have all of the repo software, but it does not have, if I can type today, it does not have anything from your snaps. So if you do want to use snaps, you're not going to be able to run it quite as well through here. You're going to have to, probably what I would do if I wanted to run snaps, boot up a terminal, install the snap store, and then boot the snap store and use that. That's going to get you everything. But out of the box, the boutique here does not actually support the snaps. So that's going to be your disadvantage in the event that you happen to want to use them. So let's go ahead and boot up a terminal here. Let's have a brief look at our system resources. So we are running about the same RAM, just about 500 megs of RAM. So much the same as we had over in Budgie. So they're going to be running about equivalent systems. So your RAM usage isn't going to be a lot more different. What you do find though is that as you look around at it, the theming does look a little old. Now what they do actually give us here is the Mate tweak tool. This actually allows you to do different things with the panels. So right here is the familiar. We have a variety of different looks we can do. So if you go ahead and change your layouts, we can see that we can do the same thing we could do in Budgie. Here's more like Redmond, like in original Windows. We have the Cupertino, which is going to be your more Apple-like, so we get a nice dock at the bottom. We have everything at the top there. So you have a variety of different builds. Let's go back to the default familiar one. So this is what they ship with. As far as your desktop, you can show desktop icons or hide them. You can enable the different icons that you want. And here we can do some animations and some things. Now, one of the things you will notice is that Mate does look a little bit older. It is, as we said, a branch from GNOME 2, which is quite an old of a system at this point in time. So it does have with it a little bit of an older look, setup, style. And some people like that, some people don't like that. That's going to be a matter of personal preference. As far as the functionality is concerned, the only other issue here that we are not going to have here is we don't have the support for online accounts. So if you do like to sync data across a variety of different things, you actually don't have that specific option inside of running Mate. Like Budgie, this one is running X with, I didn't see any Wayland support there out of the box. So there is kind of what we have there. Now, overall here, which one of these is better, which one of these is worse? Really, they're going to be very much the same. It's going to boil down to a few of your preferences. Really, the only functional difference is Budgie is going to have online account support. Mate is not. Other than that, they're going to be pretty much the same. So the question is, do you need something modern and up to date, or do you want something that's a little bit more older, a little bit more traditional? RAM usage is going to be about the same. The software is equally available, with the exception that Mate does not support snaps in the default software manager, although you can install the Snap Store without a problem if you want those. Neither one of these run flat packs out of the box, but it is available to install in the software repositories. So really, that's your individual difference. So which one of these guys is better? Really, I don't think that there is necessarily a better or a worse one. They're both going to be equally good in their own ways. Me personally, if I were doing this, I would go with Budgie, simply because I personally prefer Budgie over Mate. But Mate is a very good, very mature, very competent desktop environment. It is easy to use, and a lot of people prefer it above other ones. So if you're in the market, just kind of boils down to, do you need something that's more modern looking or not? Do you need the online accounts, and do you prefer using snaps? Let those be the determinations that decide it for you. So both of these are excellent distributions. You're not going to go wrong with either one. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a look at the website, switchedtolinux.com/support, if you want to see all the various ways you can help support the channel, like our Amazon links and things like that. So with all that, thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. I forgot to record the Mate section. That sucks. Bummer. Oh well. Well, I'll just wait for it to finish processing tonight before I go ahead and do that. And Mate looks like a well-customized open box. It kind of does, right? Mate. All right. Mufasa. All right. Original Cinnamon had Cinnamon settings and GNOME system settings each. Yeah, until they ultimately made Cinnamon settings full-blown. Yep. Thing I find with Budgie is that there's a lack of applets. Yeah, that's probably a case. Hello, Raffle Boy. Greetings. Raffle Boy. Raffle, get your raffle. All right. Mate is not as good looking. Yeah, I do like the look of Budgie better, that's for sure. Super secret password is inspired by DT. It's definitely not 123. Ubuntu Mate uses its own custom panel applets, but the standard Mate applets are basically useless. Okay, move the mouse away from the search bar. That was, oh really? Okay, that's probably the problem with it. Yeah. Except the global menu, that is a nice touch. I showed the layouts. Say, I'm pretty sure I showed the layouts. Showed them Mate tweaks, but they're... Oh, I didn't show it in the welcome app. Yeah. Will I get banned for saying apple pie? I won't ban you for saying apple pie. But the Google moderation team, they might come over here and try and start banning people for saying things like apple pie. I don't know. Kaja is a pain to look at. Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not my favorite. Mate systems, I changed Kaja for Nemo. There you go. Crap. This is not the emoji I clicked on. Uh-oh. Hello from Portugal. Well, greetings. Well, thank you. Why Mate needs to be so green? Well, because green distros do well. I mean... Linux Mint does well, Manjaro does well. Green is an integral part. So they said we got to make it do well. That's why Mate is the best distro, because it's got green in it. If you want your Linux distribution to succeed, it's got to have green in it. Come on, guys. Teach you how to install Windows 10. I don't know how to install Windows 10. Put in the software disk and go. It should, I mean, you should have a lot of guides to install Windows 10. You'll probably at this phase of the game, you're just going to use an image, and then on the Microsoft's website, you will have the option to download an image that you can put on your flash drive. That's going to be a bootable drive that will enable you to install it. And then once it installs, you're going to need to get the drivers installed. Some of it will do automatically, or it will search for those drivers. Some of those you will need to track them down yourself. Yeah. But anyway, couple too many K's there. I see. Yes, I see indeed. Let's see. We've run out of comments. That's exciting. Except Dr. Quantum Alpha is giving us a comment over there. Let's see if he finishes typing before I wrap this guy up. We do, of course, need to feed that lazy cat on the chair over there. So let's do that. Not many chaos anywhere. You might anger some people, especially Infamous. yeah, this is true. Cat's already looking. He's like, I saw you open that door. I saw you open that door. Oh boy. It's kitty treats. It's kitty treats. Oh, we lost one. Come on back up. Come on. Come on. Come on back up. Come on. Oh, Houston. Houston, we got a double catter. Houston, we got a double catter here. Oh, I can't see the double catter. There's the double catter. Whoa, where's my cats? There they are. We got a double catter. Okay, here, let's do this. Set this on the floor here, and let's see if we can get some cats over here. All right, there we are. Oh boy, kitties. And one more. Hey, kitty, stop mooning the camera. Kitty's over here mooning the camera. Yeah. That's it. That's all we got. That's all we got. All right. Had a double catter there. Windows 10 is easy to install. It monopolizes the drive and makes sure it gets installed. There you go. All right. People with Budgie and Mateo are very meh. Yeah. The kitty cam is on a diet, looking less bloated. Like the worst chair ever. Yes, it is. 2 kitty cams at the same time. It's a double catter. That's right. It's a double catter. There's one more kitty treat that fell over here, and none of them picked up. Kitty, you missed this kitty treat right here. You missed that one. There we go. Okay. Ubuntu Linux 6 is available. It's RC. Wondering when it will be available to be released. If anyone knows. I don't know. Scared of cats. They might scratch when the stuff goes down. Yeah, you know. My cats are declawed. They're not going to scratch me. Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up here for now. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will... I'm 50-50 on not doing a supporter stream tomorrow. That may or may not happen. So keep an eye on the channel. I will announce whether we do a supporter stream or a no supporter stream tomorrow. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out, but I don't know yet. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And if we don't jump on tomorrow, then we will definitely be here for the weekly news roundup. So we will catch you guys later.